What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to RJF Media. I am Rob, and day 4 of the NFL free agency is about halfway over at this point, at least on the East Coast. And although the Jets started out, on the slower side, picking up some signing some smaller name players, smaller contracts with the likes of Javon Kinlaw, John Simpson, Tyrod Taylor, Isaiah Oliver, things are starting to heat up a little bit more, and that is evident with the move that was made today of clearing about $8 million in cap space by basically creating a whole new contract for CJ Mosley. This was his last year of his contract with no guaranteed money, but he had a cap hit of about $21.5 million. So what the Jets and CJ Mosley did is they got together, created a new 2-year contract for this year and next year with that allows about $13.5 million in guaranteed for CJ Mosley, giving a little more security and allows the Jets to retain their defensive captain and leading tackler. I think what this move really shows is that there's something big possibly coming up on the horizon, whether it's today or within the next few days. Because you've seen what the Jets have done in free agency. They pretty much solidified that offensive line outside of left tackle with more big news, them trading for Morgan Moses from the Baltimore Ravens yesterday, swapping 4th-round picks and basically trading an additional 6. So basically traded a 6 for Morgan Moses, who brings a $5.5 million cap charge. Now you can debate whether or not Joe Douglas should have even let him go in the first place 2 years ago. I don't think he should have. I think they should have just kept him. He played very well for the Jets. He's one of the better rated right tackles in the NFL, albeit he's getting a little older. He's 33 years old now, so maybe they work something that's, this year and next year. That way they can kind of have that hole filled for the next 2 years. The projected Rodgers timeline, have that veteran presence on the right tackle in the right tackle spot. But really, it's just the left tackle position that's open on that offensive line. And now you can look at it a couple ways. Is that big move for left tackle, like somebody like a Tyron Smith, or are they still going to look towards a draft? But when you look at the draft, there's really two, bona fide starting left tackles. These two players are left tackles, and that's Joe Alt and Olu Fashanu. With Olu Fashanu being really the only kind of possibility to be there at 10 if you look at the teams ahead of them, of the New York Jets that are drafting, and the lack of pure left tackles. But if the Jets are going to go that route, then I would say they are probably going to have to trade up, because I think it's a lot to bet to sit there at 10 and hope that this pure left tackle is going to be there, especially since every team in the NFL is tackle needy, offensive line needy. I think it'd be a huge gamble to sit there and wait, and then next thing you know, both tackles are taken off the board, and then you have a group of tackles who, although athletic and maybe could play left tackle, they are really only have starting right tackle experience, or they've just moved around a lot. They don't have that definitive position. So, we'll put them at right tackle because it's, I guess in a sense, an easier position to play than left tackle. Someone like a Fuaga or, a Guyton or Mims or something like that, that will probably most likely be there at pick 10 and beyond. So, left tackle, could that be the big move that's made? Or could it be something like a receiver playmaker? Because according to Field Yates, I believe it was Field Yates on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, now that the Jets have cleared this $8 million in cap space, it supposedly makes them the front runner to trade for a T. Higgins if him and the Bengals, in fact, cannot get a deal done. Now, personally, I don't think that deal is going to get done just because they have a Jamar Chase. But it could get done too because you have somebody like a Tyler Boyd who is out there also, who's a free agent, who is the Cincinnati Bengals number 3 option. So you have their number 2, number 3 options available in the free agent market. Me personally, I would love to get a T. Higgins. I just don't know if the cost, not just monetarily, but pick-wise, I just don't know if that's going to be worth it, especially with the limited resources the Jets have in their draft picks this year as opposed to other years. Me personally, I would like to go the way of a Tyler Boyd, who was a number 2 in his career and at one point in number 1. You know, I get the point that people make that, oh, Tyler Boyd, you know, he was a number 3 option. Now you want him to come here and be number 2. I don't really think that really moves the needle all that much. But I would say this, over his career, before Joe Burrow got there, he was back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons in 2018, 2019. And then when Joe Burrow was drafted in 2020, that season was obviously cut short because of injury. And even in that season, being the number 2 option, he had almost 1,000 yards receiving. I believe it was around like 890-ish yards and 5 touchdowns or 6 touchdowns. And even as the number 3 option behind Ja'Marr Chase and Tyler Boyd, he's consistently gotten over 650 yards every year since, and at least 5 touchdowns, minus this past season where he had 2 touchdowns. But here's another thing to think about. So it was reported today that I'll post the person who posted it, I can't think of the top of my head, that the Jets are expected to basically get rid of the retired, injury, whatever stamp that they have on Corey Davis, allowing him to, you know, pick a team. There's reports that he's wanting to come back to the NFL. He's actually sent in, filed his paperwork or whatever to be reinstated into the NFL. But there is also the chance that he could also come back to the New York Jets. Corey Davis, obviously, who abruptly retired from football last offseason to focus on his mental health and his personal life, having tragedy in his personal life. I believe his brother had passed away, unfortunately. So he took the year off to focus on that. And then, so if you do indeed have Corey Davis coming back, that kind of opens up the possibilities even more for what can this team do? What is that big move going to be? Because now if Corey Davis does indeed come back, do you really spend that draft capital and that money on somebody like a T. Higgins, or do you bring in a Tyler Boyd, Curtis Samuel, or something like that to complement and kind of round out that receiving room? And then again, as far as the tackle position, the left tackle position goes, do you go with somebody like a Tyron Smith to kind of fit that Aaron Rodgers timeline? Does he have, you know, 2 more really good years left in him and spend the money there? And then, or do you look towards a draft to where you're probably going to have to trade up to ensure that you get that tackle that you want? So, I mean, regardless, I think that this move, I think there are also going to be other moves. I think DJ Reed's going to be extended. The Jets also re-signed Thomas Morstead, the punter, for another 2 years, which is really exciting. I know he's a fan favorite. Could argue who's MVP of last year, but, you know, big moves on the horizon, I believe. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. How should the Jets address left tackle? How should they address wide receivers? Do you consider Corey Davis as part of the equation? Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a video. Again, let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, talk to you later.